Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you. We're going to hear from Rosie Rios, the 43rd U.S. Treasurer, is now a board member from Ripple, and she's going to tell you exactly what she thinks about Gary Gensler's SEC, and I think you're going to like it a lot. And I tell you what, we're also going to talk about the new news really quickly that I covered in depth in the first video this morning. Flare Networks made a big announcement. They're putting the power in our hands. We now have an option on how we want to receive the airdrop. And man, do I like it. Shout out to them. They're remarkable. And I also want to tell you, we're also going to talk about a Ripple partner who just got even deeper in bed with real-time payment schemes, everybody. It's getting real out here. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove and everything that we're talking about here today. Before we get started, I just want to tell you, I Trust Capital has the best gold, crypto, silver IRAs. Make sure you check out the link in the description for that and everything else that we're talking about here today. By the way, this is a public service announcement really quickly before we go on. You're going to want to know this. This is from Shane Nixon. Shout out to you, Shane. And he says, let's all share this so these scammers get nothing. Amazing lengths they will go to. Look at this. This is from Bitcoin Magazine originally here, and they show that these ledgers are being sold and repackaged. And basically, the scammers are doing something to these ledgers. So when you get it, thinking you've received a new product from Ledger, there's malicious hardware in the wallet. And here is a fake letter even that has gone out about this too. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, these scammers will just go to any length to get us. And again, I want to remind you, this is why I tell you to check out the links in the description box and the comment section for things that you may need. It's all products and services that I use each and every day, and I'm sure that some of these things are going to be things you're looking for. I, in fact, do have a link to Ledger Nano, and it is a trusted, vetted link, as all the links that I use. So make sure if you want something to check out the link in the description and comment box. 1.6 trillion for the market cap today, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, going into the weekend, it is going to be a struggle, it looks like here, right? So we're going to watch it fight through the weekend. We usually don't see a lot of huge price action going into the weekend. And hey, I hope I'm wrong. But the reality is Bitcoin sitting at 37,000, XRP sitting at 82 cents right now. Let's take a look at it. We lost whatever gains we had earlier this morning, but that's okay because I think we know where we're going, and we're going to see evidence of that in just a second. Ranging between 81 cents on the low end, just under 82 cents. We're sitting at just over 82 cents right now, and the high end of the range at 84 plus. So we're going to keep an eye on that through the weekend as always. Again, be very careful what you click on. Click the links in the description and comment section. Those are trusted, vetted links for products you may need. And if there's something you're after that I don't offer, let me know and I'll try to get it for us. Okay, the recent Flare news, not going to spend a lot of time on this, but just the update. Flare Networks, Hugo Filion and the team, and shout out to them. They are a class act. And I tell you, you know, the adults have been able to manage to have a conversation that we need to have, and thank goodness for it, because Clinton Donnelly really brought this to the forefront, I believe. And shout out to Clinton Donnelly, cryptotaxaudit.com. Go check him out. He's amazing. And the reality here is that the conversation has led to Hugo and the team offering an option, giving us control, which is really classy of them to do. We now have the choice to either accept the 15% airdrop and then the 3% every month thereafter if no one chooses to change the vote, or you could accept the option 1 or option 2, or it would default back to the original, right? So really quickly, just so this is laid out here, just so you have it, I just want to open this up very quickly for you. And basically the option 2, which I think is fantastic, is the ability to receive your 15% would be your 100% received one time and done. And that to me is remarkable. I like that. Option 1, which was born as a plan to change the distribution method and number of Spark tokens. Spark recipients would receive the 15% at the time of network launch. After that, you can receive the remaining Spark tokens by burning a small percentage of your flare. The remaining tokens will be distributed approximately 3% each month, starting 6%, Now, to that note, shout out to the original OG in this space, Jungle Inc. Says option 1 is so silly. Who are these unnamed tax scholars? It has no economic reality other than to avoid tax. It would be deemed tax avoidance scheme and ignored. No tax or legal pro would definitively make a call like this. And this, honestly, shout out to you, Jungle. Honestly, I mean, I don't think anyone has said it more clear or more succinctly than you did in this tweet. And I really do appreciate you. You know, you're an original OG in this space, brother. Look, the option 2, I love a lot because the option 2 would burn the 100 million down to 15 billion. And basically, what we'll be looking at here, option 2, after distributing 15 billion flare immediately after network launch, token issuance was stopped. Of the 100 billion flare issued, 85 will no longer be issued. So the total number of distribution will be 15 billion flare Spark tokens, right? About future flow, according to Flare Networks, option 1 governance proposal is expected to be officially announced in the future, along with notes explaining pros and cons of each proposal and legal basis. It is also possible to consider proposals other than above the 2 options. It says here, Philion explained that the future flow will be as follows. 15% of the 100 billion flare issued after the launch of mainnet will be distributed, set a 5-month period to reach community consensus on 2 governance proposals of other options. It says if the new option doesn't win, distribution will resume 6 months after the mainnet launch. As previously announced, 3% of the flare will be distributed each month from the first 100 billion, remaining 85%, right? So I like the second option that they're offering us now, and I think it's a great option to get a burn of the tokens and really get the full drop in the very beginning, and it's done. To me, that could send the price really, really high for Flare in my estimation, and it solves any confusion about what the implication on receiving the airdrop in a distributed fashion that way would cause. So I really like option 2, and you know what, to that point, not only does Jungle get it, but here's this. Look at this. Option 2 by a landslide so far. Flare community regarding the new Flare distribution method, which options are likely to choose and why. Option 1, burn a small amount of your Flare in exchange for the rest of the continued distribution as expected, 2 to 3% a month. And option 2, burn 85% Flare airdrop all at once. Come on in. And you know what? Show this poll. Option 2 by a landslide, over 5,400 votes. 2 days left on this. I tell you, I'm liking option 2 because it's so clean. And I tell you what, once again, shout out to Hugo and the team there. They are a class act. I tell you what, been able to stay above the noise that we've had to put up with. Fintech embraces flexibility by mixing payment rails. You're going to like this a lot, ladies and gentlemen. What has Ripple has said about the digital asset space and blockchain and crypto? The winners at the end of the day, it's going to come down to interoperability, is it not? That's what we're talking about here. We're talking about the interoperability factor becoming the new watermark, because that's going to prove that use case utility is inside of that asset with the combination of interoperability, right? And that's what we're looking at here. And take a look at this. Valente Technologies, which is in fact a Ripple partner. If you remember, Federal Reserve Payments Pilot incorporates Ripple partner Valente Technologies. Come on in. Well, it gets deeper. Valente and SIA loop European banks into instant payments. My gosh, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear they were ramping up for something. Valente Technologies has announced a partnership with fellow payments fintech SIA to enable payments in the region to be more seamlessly access real-time payment schemes and offer instant payment solutions to their customers. Valente said it will lend its SEPA instant payment as a service offering and combined it with SIA's SIAnet infrastructure to enable financial institutions to gain direct access to various payment rails, including EBA clearings, RTI, and TIPS. With a maximum transaction value of 100,000 euros, these rails enable payments to be sent and received in less than 10 seconds. Sound like anything you know? Look, I mean, it doesn't mean that they will start out using XRP for settlement. They'll still settle dollar to dollar where they're liquid. If it's euro to euro or euro to USD, at this point, there probably isn't a need for them to use XRP as a bridge asset. The liquidity is there. But the reality is, it's just as Dilip Rao has said, and many others from Ripple, that they are in a phase-in business model. It's the software first, then you bring in the actual use of the token, and then the holy grail is to ultimately hold the XRP token for settlement, right? So this, to me, is the right kind of phasing in, and knowing that Valente's already in bed with the Federal Reserve on payments. And like I said, it doesn't mean their XRP is right away being used, but this is what I want to see, is a real Ripple partner deeply involved and getting even deeper in the global payment scheme. It can't be bad, right? All right, now this is news from Hall of Famer DJ Peter Vass right here. It says, boom, XRP adoption. Linux Global launches DA5. Australia activates the DA5 FinFan Vietnam payment rails. Say that 5 times fast. And looking at this is where it gets real interesting, okay? Launching the DA5 Australia and activates the DA5 FinFan Vietnam payment rails. We come down here. During the onset of the pandemic, FinFan became the first neo-banking institution in Vietnam to utilize the Ripple XRP blockchain network and its global financial payments network called RippleNet. As a part of RippleNet, which comprises more than 300 financial institutions worldwide, FinFan, in conjunction with the partnership, carved out more transparent solution for on-demand minimized transaction fees with a real-time bridge between the multi-currency exchange. Now, they are using it. They're not playing around. They're using it. That could be instantly settled in destination countries 24/7. And obviously they feel like they have a liquid enough market to be able to use that asset between this corridor. That to me is exciting, and the SEC can't do a damn thing about it. Come on in. At the time of RippleNet announcement, FinFan founder and CEO stated FinFan brings Vietnamese Generation Z over the globe for the first fully digital generation. Money beyond borders is an experience. These demographics want their financial experiences to be seamless, effective, and in line with their lifestyle preferences when sending money home to their loved relatives. It says FinFan is a cross-border money movement platform authorized in Central Bank of Vietnam, SBV, that helps service providers expand quickly to unreached markets with a full spectrum of remittance and payment services. FinFan is the first non-bank financial company to be licensed and to operate in Vietnam. Since its founding in 2007, it has grown tremendously to become the #1 money transfer company in the country. Within 13 years, FinFan has added more services to its portfolio, including overseas money transfer, payment, pay the bill, cash in, cash out, and more. The digital banking revolution is taking Vietnam by storm, and FinFan is considered one of the key players in this. By being the first non-bank institution in Vietnam to use RippleNet, it redraws the financial boundaries by bringing the new level of efficiency, accessibility for cross-border transactions to and from the nation. Is it any wonder that this news involves a Ripple partner after hearing that? Nope, it's not. And finally, we end here with the one and only Attorney Seal. That's a Hall of Famer right there. Pay attention to the way Rosie Rios enunciates her point that Gary Gensler is going to do a fabulous job. I sense she knows he's going to save the day for crypto regulations in some way. And you know what? I think so too. And I don't think it's going to be the kind of answer that the libertarians and the Bitcoin maxis are going to like very much. And we've talked about it plenty here. But I think Gary Gensler is absolutely going to be a key figure in helping to craft the unified regulatory framework for this entire space with the help of Congress. Listen to these remarks.
Well, I think the good news about kind of structure is, there's obviously a regulatory framework that's in place. We have a new administration. We have a lot of great people at the helm having a lot of great conversations about what happens to inspire innovation, not stymie innovation. And so, I adore Gary Gensler. I think he's going to do a fabulous job in not just in the crowdfunding space, but in the crypto space and all the other areas where I think you need level-headed people who have been in the trenches. He was obviously the chair of the CFTC in the past. He knows crypto. He was at MIT studying this, and so he, in my opinion, obviously in the Obama administration, he was also part of the Jobs Act legislation, among other pieces of legislation. So the regulatory framework that needs to be in place is really just beginning, in my opinion. Those discussions are happening now. And so you see a lot of, of course, you saw the news about, for example, El Salvador passing a law to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. That's a huge, huge step. So having the government, the regulators, literally kind of, trying to get ahead of this, which is really hard because government doesn't usually lead; they usually follow, right? So they react. They react to innovations that are happening in the private sector. So I do think that in this administration, you do have a lot of good people at the helm starting the conversations that needed to be started.
Really great comments from her. Listen to this first real clip here.
Well, I think the good news about kind of structure is, there's obviously a regulatory framework that's in place.
What's she talking about? What's she talking about? Listen to this first clip again now.
Well, I think the good news about kind of structure is, there's obviously a regulatory framework that's in place.
Well, what would that be? Is she referencing the securities framework that's already in place? Because we don't have clarity that we're aware of from the retail holder side, right? So I don't know exactly what she's referencing there, but it almost makes me feel like what we've talked about many times on this channel. If we see the majority of this market classified as digital asset securities, ICOs, and maybe some other classification there that fits into that, they could tuck it into an already framework that's in place. Or does she mean that they have a regulatory framework that we're not aware of, and she is? I don't know, but I don't know what the actual answer to that is. But what I do know is it's very, very exciting. That's going to do it for me. Before I get out of here, I do want to remind you, Unstoppable Domains has got new domains you can get. .coin, .wallet, .bitcoin, .x. I love .x. Okay. .888, NFT, DAO, and blockchain. And for every dollar you spend, you get $3 promo credit for every dollar you spend. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Check out all the links in the description box and the comment section. Keep yourself safe and have a great weekend. We'll catch you on the next one.